Cricket, and in today's Benson and Hedges Cup matches, Lancashire beat Nottinghamshire, Middlesex beat Sussex and Yorkshire beat Derbyshire. And tonight's football results in Division 3, Bournemouth 2, Peterborough 1. This means Bournemouth go down to the 4th Division. In the Welsh Cup final, first leg, Wrexham 2, Cardiff 1.
And now the main points of the news again. The British Steel Corporation has confirmed there'll have to be up to 20,000 redundancies in the industry over the next 10 months. The pound has fallen to another record low against major foreign currencies, and the Foreign Office is still considering whether some Vietnamese refugees should come to Britain. News Extra tonight is at 10:20 on BBC Two. From Richard Whitmore and me, good night.
Now the weather. Temperatures will be similar to today's, ranging from only 11 centigrade, 52 Fahrenheit on east coasts exposed to the northeast winds, to 16 centigrade, 61 Fahrenheit in some sheltered parts of northwest England.
It's the lunchtime news, and we're back again at 5:40. Let's look at the nationwide weather picture from Michael Fish.
Thanks, Dave. Well, unsettled time ahead for episode 25. We'll just get the weather map up there now, and you can see straight away that dark brown band pushing westwards, coming in from the northeast there, dark brown ferric rust as it pushes its way across towards the west. Iron oxide there, heavy content. Watch out for that if you're in the Scotland area. And westwards now, these new old stock parts pushing through and clashing with the iron oxide to create a kind of brown slurry. Watch out for that. I think it's time for gardening just yet in June. Looking further towards the Midlands then, heavy traffic there, lots of Mark 3 stuck on the Spaghetti Junction on the way to the Nationals. We're going to hope that they may narrowly miss that band as it crosses in to the Midland area and down into the home counties. Sludge then, lots of it, and iron oxide, plenty of that coming down. Unusual for this time of the year. Let's bring up the next screen. As you can see now, the iron oxide is actually combined with the new old stock parts, causing heavy turbulence and causing a lot of problems. If you're out there, it's treacherous conditions. Looking forward to the middle of the week then. A cloud of mid-gas coming in from the south. That's due to the tropical storm Cortina as it pushes its way across northern Europe and eventually reaches the UK, making landfall about 11 o'clock at night. Eccles cakes, plenty of them. They're raining down quite heavily as you have your tea. But all of this is going to combine. So you've got the Eccles cakes, the iron oxide and the mid-gas to create a terrible, terrible mix. Treacherous conditions, raining black currants and currant buns as we try and get our Cortina restorations on the way and keeping moving forward. Sorry about that, all you showgoers out there. Episode 25, then, turbulent episode. Lots going on. We're going to have a bit of more of a detailed overlook of the weather and just see very unsettled conditions. Then you can see now there's another band, so you've got two iron oxide bands coming in to create that eye of the storm. There you can just see it swirling around the plug hole. Drain bungs, plenty of them, 4 drain bungs on the inner sill there, just on the west coast of Scunthorpe, and that's looking quite dangerous as well. Onto our next screen then, new old stock panels, lots of them. Dagenham then, Dagenham weather, the engine plant taking heavy hits from the iron oxide, which has eventually made its way as far as London, would you believe, just past the North Circular ring road, the A402. Yeah, we can see more Mark 3, cluster of Mark 3, some 4s and 5s, not sure where the 1 and 2s are, bit early in the year for the Nationals. So plenty of Ford traffic, all gathering around, and I can see that people are trying to dodge round this. Well, stay at home. You know, it's very dangerous out there at the moment in the weather. There's a lot of Cortina parts. Chassis legs, 2 of them. They're looking good. And then we're going to go quickly across to the race course. We're just going to see what the weather's like down at Chepstow. I'm going to go across to Cortina City at Chepstow. Just hold on 2 seconds. Welcome to Chepstow, a wet and rainy day then, as we line the cars up on the start line. Conditions 50-50, treacherous to bad, going is fair, and all the contenders are in now. So Daytona Yellow there lining up at the beginning. Number 25 Silver Fox is tipped to be the hot tip for the race today at Chepstow, but you can see the contenders. 5 of them, all Mark 3s. Daytona Yellow takes pole position along with two-headed New Old Stock. I can't quite read his. It's a bit. No, I think he's out of the race actually. Is two-headed Cortina out of the race? Yeah, he's out. He's out. He's suffered a catastrophic diff fail on the M5 near Franklin Services. Not to worry. So Maize Yellow, Daytona Yellow, then 2 yellows in the running this year, ladies and gentlemen. Silver Fox tipped for the top. We've got Copper Bronze and Cobron just behind. Lining up then, so any minute now we're going to be on the way, and they're off. Silver Fox jumping ahead, Daytona Yellow just behind it, coming up to the first hurdle. Watch it into the first chicane, goes Silver Fox. Silver Fox still in front. Silver Fox powering ahead now, and behind them Copper Bronze coming next. It's Copper Bronze and Silver Fox and Copper Bronze level. We're whirling up to the final hurdle now. M6 down on the M6 straight over Beecher's Brook. We've lost a diff. Copper Bronze, diff's off. Copper Bronze is out of the race, but just behind Daytona Yellow takes place there now. Daytona Yellow coming up behind Silver Fox. Silver Fox still in the lead. We've got some smoke coming out the Pinto engine on Silver Fox, but it's not too bad. Daytona Yellow neck and neck, and Daytona now takes the lead as they come down into the M58. M58 going fair to middling. M58 fair to middle. Silver Fox crosses the line. It's Silver Fox in episode 25. Okay, so continuing preparing this rear shelf and this rear boot floor. So the rear parcel shelf there, starting to get that repair piece welded in. I've got the boot lid hinges on, and we're starting to line up, get an idea where the wings are going to land. Now, they're guiding themselves most of the way, and then at the last minute you've got a chance to get your boot gap right. Look at a lot of Mark 3 Cortinas, especially on the driver's side, and look at that corner to the corner of your boot lid. The way that it's designed, it naturally pulls in the wing and pulls it down, and you get an off quite often. Some haven't got it, but a lot of Mark 3s have got that uneven gap, and it closes up at the end, and it's all to do with the way this panel pulls it. This is starting to do it, and it's going to probably follow the rest of the Mark 3s, but I'm going to try and get a bit of it out by pushing back on this quarter. I've took some measurements, and I'm going to actually open out that bottom panel and push it out a little bit, try and lose a bit of that gap. I'm just trying to make sure that it doesn't affect anything else when I do that. Going down the bottom there, prepping this panel here. What we have to do is trim a little bit down on the edge of this finishing piece, because they've made it slightly oversized, but as we said, we're giving them 9 out of 10 for the panels. I don't think I've got it in wrong, because it guides on that little S and curved bend there. So we've trimmed that inner piece just so that it fits really nicely when the back valance goes on. There's that back valance that we've got. These quarter panel finishers now get the weld through primer on it, as indeed does that back finishing upper panel. So a lot of prep work, just tons and tons of prep work. Some welds gone in just at the top to hold the boot floor, and some welds gone in on a repair patch in here where that metal was thin on the end of that tub. That's in and blended. And now we're just doing the final repair to this tub, which is just that lip where it's thin metal. I've cut the piece out. Okay, and now I've got the new section in. This is a cut up piece of stuff that we've got. It's a repair panel off eBay. Not bad, gets you out of trouble. Here's the piece we cut off. Not too bad on that side. Starting to thin out on that side. We could have got away with it, but I just thought that pitting, especially there right in front of your screens, was a bit heavy and was borderline. Okay, so we lost that, and then we put this piece in. We're clamped up and ready to weld that in now. So that just gives that little bit more of a solid feel to the tub. That lower tub repair needs skimming in before we put the wing on, so we can lose that. Repair patching at the back here on the tub. As I said, that repair patch there's just one piece to do there. That one's gone in. That triangle repair's gone in. We've started cleaning up the edges as well now, and there's a fillet piece there ready to go in. We've cleaned up the back of the roof inside and weld through primered it, and that can now be spot welded on or welded on, depending what it takes. I think the spot weld will probably work. These faces get cleaned up, ready to go. That lower face there gets ready for weld through primer. So we prep all the contact areas of the wing, because the wing's going to be going on next. With 2 wings on first, and then we infill the panels, because what you can do when both your wings are on and you fit your bonnet, your boot lid, sorry, you can start to just slightly move the wings either in or out to try and get that gap the best that you can. And you have to be careful that when you do it, you don't affect anything else. So we'll fit the rear boot applique and the lights when we're getting towards this end of this. Will be the last part to do, and we'll tweak it and just see if we can actually indeed get the best we can before we actually fix these. Alright, it might be that we make it non-standard and it's slightly wider. So the most Cortinas are 128 point to point on there. I might 128.5, that's why I've crossed through it, as it's a possibility. So that's it, tons and tons of prep work. I've not filmed anything for a day because I've been just basically doing stuff which I didn't really find much use on camera. A lot of tidying up, cleaning, and going out and picking up panels and parts and paint. So we've been away on that, but we're back to do this final fit. We have got all the panels we need. The wing itself, we've salvaged that wing. There it is down there, and don't worry, it's not getting dented. It's been cleaned up. All the contact faces on that now we need to start cleaning up. I've been bashing it straight because a lot of the contact faces on this wing were all distorted when it had been pulled off. The bottom of it there, you can see where the yellow braze marks are, where the Portuguese body shell had this brazed on. We melted that off, then knocked it straight with a hammer and dolly. So we've hammer and dollied all the contact faces on the new wing, or the donor wing. There it is, hiding underneath the car. And that's needed a lot of cleaning up, and indeed it needs some very, very small repairs. Just down there, can you see them pinholes? I don't really know why they're pinholes, but it is. And also down on the bottom, I'm not going to bring it out because I've just propped it up, but on the bottom it's got quite a large repair needed on the bottom piece, so I'm going to make a special bit of metal for that. We're going to reform the bottom edge of it. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with some welding work up round this side where we've just shown you. So get the welder on and get that piece in and done and out of the way. So that's the next job for me. Repair that upper lip on the passenger side wheel housing. Okay, a quick time walk for you. We're all blended in. So we butt welded in, took the clamps out, finished off the welds, joined them all up, then just using a combination of the angle grinder with a grinding disc on it, finished off with crocky, and that lip repair is good. You see, this doesn't even need any filler in that one. We've managed to do that filler free. So the tub's getting tougher all the time, and now we move up from there. We're going to get this plate on. One spot weld's already in. You go on the tripod now, because you like the spotty. We'll go in there and finish that fillet off there, and then we'll start getting some weld through primer on these mating up faces. We'll paint this area here and this after we've scrubbed it down with some Phos Clean B, just to take off any stains and just key it up. Then we'll paint it in the Ford brown because it's going to get enclosed soon. Little plate to go in there as long as we don't forget. And that would be that. Start getting the quarter on. I'm going to put this quarter on first. I want to do the hard side first and get it out of the way so that that side just becomes a nice easy job that you're going to look forward to. This side's the messy side because most of the damage was on this side, but we're on top of it, we're clean, we're getting some good metal faces ready to receive the quarter wing. And as I said, when the quarter wing is on and spot welded in all the way up to this point, we'll leave this bit and we'll just slightly jig it just to get our bonnet gap the best we can get. We may not get it perfect, but we'll get it the best. As I said, they never fit that good on the very end run. All my Cortinas have got varying boot lip gaps, and a lot of Mark III's probably have got the same. Anyway, we'll try and rectify that. Before we do, a bit of spot welding and a bit more prep work, and then the wing's going to need a little bit more dressing. The wing, as we saw, was dished down under the car. It'll need a little bit more dressing before it's ready to go on. But we're closing in now. Last of the rust is out of the way, so we're closing in. Okay, we're going in for that last little spot weld run along there. Hopefully all clean and prepped. Let's get one more in, then I can take the grips out of the way. Oh! Woo! Woo! Hell yeah! See your spot welding face. Spot welding face. Oh! Woo! That ain't going nowhere. Going nowhere. That is nice. Those spot welds went on good. Nice. Whoa. Okay. Okay, a tidy up and an update. Bottom of the wing's rotten, I'm afraid, so we've chopped it out. There's nothing else to do. You could end up staring at it all day. So out it comes, all along that edge, starting to go through. So I just took it off. It's a shame because we were, other than that, we were quite solid on this wing. But there's no point going all this way then having some compromised metal, and you know you can't get the wing. So there's only one thing to do. There's only one wing. There's only one wing to do. What the? Only one thing to do. Make a new repair section for the bottom of the wing. So I've hammered it straight. And now I'm going to cut a template out, and we're going to make the folds and reinsert that into the wing. Okay, so we just cut that shape out, put that in the metal folder, and we'll try and get it to match up. Then what we'll probably have to do, offer it up to the wing and the sill, and then just get it to fit exact and trim it. So we're going to need a little bit of trimming just to sit it in the right place. Although if we can copy this exact, we'd be okay. But quite a critical fit, so I'm going to oversize it, and then I'm going to trim it to suit. Okay, so first things first, get this cut out. Okay, so here's the panel with the folds put in it. We'll put it in the panel folding machine, which we've shown you earlier on in the other videos. I'll just give you a walk over to the panel folder. Really handy. Fits in your vice Clark strong arm, so you can feed sheet into that and get folds, 45s, 90-degree folds. So we've hand formed the wheel arch slight curve, so we set it over the hammering block, and with a combination of a plenishing hammer, copper hammer, some pliers and a few bits of bendy bits, we shape that. Slightly oversized this should be to the actual wing. I know that angle, that cut's not a straight cut along there, but I was just trying to keep as much original of the wing, because it wasn't rotten around there. It doesn't really make any difference that I've cut it on a slant, although some OCDers will be thinking that line should be straight, but it won't make any odds. It's all blended in anyway. So that goes in like this. Look, start to make the repair for the bottom. Gives us a chance to get an exact fit to the sill if we want it. And we've got all the rotten metal out, so that section can repair this wing. We'll never get a wing, I've said that again before, we'll never get this wing, so we've got to fix it. And it's a shame not to use it because the rest of it's in good order. So what I'll do now, we'll offer this up, get some cut marks on it, and then we'll cut the wing and start getting the butt clamps in position. We can get this welded in, nothing to stop us doing it on the car while everything's fitted up. This wing ain't going to move and it's all in its exact places, so that's where it would fit nicely up against the fillet there. See how it is up against that fillet piece. So we're all ready to go. That's the way it is. And I get cutting, we'll get this blended in nicely. So passenger side, near side, wing, bottom edge, rot removal and repair. There's our old rot gone. We can wave goodbye to that. Leave me now to get this cut and fitted at the bottom and slightly shaped in. I think that you'll find this will go quite nicely. And then we're almost done prepping this wing. It'll be great when it's done. I'm getting closer all the time, everybody in Petrol and YouTube land. Getting closer all the time. Rear end then. Let's go. Okay, we've got the repair patch fitting nice and snugly into position. Just by spraying on marker lines and then doing your first cut with the grinder wheel, then go in again and slightly just sand it till you get the finish that you want. We could just take a little bit more off. It might be a bit tight on some of the clamps. We'll see how we get on, but we can get some tacks in there, get it nicely tacked up first. So there's our little repair patch, which solves that rotten bottom of the wing problem. And there you have it. Now we're a bit close up, but I'm tight up against the wall here, so you have to just bear with me. Okay, we've done some holes in it because it's going to weld to the bottom of the sill. Obviously we'll never get a spot weld whoops into the bottom of there, so I think you'll find that we are nice there. You can see how that fits. We'll get some, no need to hesitate now. I reckon we just get on, get some tacks in that. So it's critical now to not get it too hot with the MIG. So we're just going to do plenty of spaced out tacks and let it cool down between the processes. We don't want to warp this now. We've done all this excellent work and we don't want to wreck it by warping it. Alright, so we'll get on with that, get it done. Okay, the clamps are in, so I just talk a little bit louder because you've got the welder fan on. Clamps are in. Tacks are starting to go on now. We'll keep these clamps on to keep everything nice and level. One more clamp to get in just at the top there. And then we're good. We're going to carry on getting the MIG welds. So we'll do loads of little MIG welds. And we can remove the clamps, then go in between. Hopefully we'll get it distortion free. So that's that repair patch. Welds are on, we're grinding down. Got to tuck over the music. Okay, it's going good. Okay, we are ground back and looking alright. It has warped a little bit, I can feel just a little bit. It dishes in just around there. That's probably where most of the heat was. So we'll take it off now and we'll get that as straight as we can. It's nice there. Just lost it a little bit there with the warping. It's an easy panel to get a skim on for the body shop to do, I'd have thought. I reckon I can get a lot of that out. We'll just plenish it a little bit. It's just probably where I had too much heat on one of the weld runs there, but that's not bad. I think we're okay. We're good against the sill. So that's that rot out of that section. We can move along to something else. Okay, with a quarter wing off, we can go down and dress it up. And then I've just dollied out that little crease. Now here I can feel it is rippled. Now it was rippled anyway. This whole panel's had a bit of a beating, and this always had a little crease because don't forget it was pulled off the car quite hastily. But I've just spoke to Body Shop and they said it's not a problem on a flat plane. They're gonna fill over that. All right. I mean that's part of the procedure anyway. If I run my hands over it, I can feel a little ripple there. It's not overall though. As I say, you're not going to get the panel. We're okay here. This coach line wants to get a bit more definition. It's lost a little bit of its definition there. You can get to that from inside the car. I mean, most of these places are accessible, so I can attach it. They just said, the body shop just said it's okay to attach it. We've got rods and stuff that can get in. It's not a big deal. And with it being nicely fitted to the car, it's actually more solid to work on. They're used to working, straightening them up when they're on cars as opposed to taking this panel to them. I'll do any more that I can find to clean it up, but really we're getting close now where this can go back on the car. That was the main bit, to get that rot out. Oh, there is some rot here now. We better tackle this. Let's do this then. See these pinholes here? I'm going to put a little plate in there. I'm going to take a square out of that whole area. I don't think I want to MIG them up. I'll try and MIG them up now. But if there's ever any other thin areas, I'm going to plate it otherwise. But that's the only thing that's left in terms of the rot. What we could do with doing really is getting some of the primer on this area and getting the weld through surfaces prepped now, ready to receive. That's all done and that's nicely blended. That's etch prime. So we're going to put on some of that zinc-based brown Ford style primer and prep that area there and get it going. Then we'll paint the inside of the wing and again prime the surfaces where it makes contact with the spot welder and the plugs. We won't be able to spot weld all of it because we can't reach all the points. I think I'll get a good run along here. There's an argument to say we could use that bonding resin for this face just to make it waterproof. This is the main rain channel. Might be an idea. We've still got plenty of that bonding resin left. We could, instead of plug welding this face of the wing before we fit it, run the bead down and seal it in that way. That would make it waterproof. I'll give that some thought. Here we'll get spot welds in. On that B pillar it'll be plug welded. At the bottom we weld from the inside on the sill. Round here we may be able to reach in with a spot. We might have to get a special adapter for the spot welder to get the arches. If not, it's plug welding when the car's upside down for those. Or I'd rather spot weld them. Bottom of the inner aprons, they'll spot weld. No problem grabbing onto that. We've already spot welded that, the front of it on. There's a bit of prepping to do in the wheel housing, some filler to sand down. But other than that, we're getting ready. It's getting closer all the time. I'm happy with all the measurements. Obviously there's some jigging to do with the back quarters in terms of the distance and gaps for the boot. This is where it gets a little bit technical and you need to spend a lot of time doing it right. And you can march on and do some big panels like we did with the boot, but when it comes down to the fine alignment issues, then that could take like days. You can seem like you're getting nowhere. A lot of preparation now to get this. The object of the exercise is to get the boot lid and the quarters all agreeing with each other. Okay, so leave me again with this as I get on and get that pinhole fixed in the bottom lower edge of that quarter. Over and out for now. I'm going to do a little bit of sealing pinhole repair. Episode 25, I think. Okay, I'm going around and inspecting the quarter panel now for any suspected rot. They never really rot up the top of the panels, so really I expected it to be good up there, and it is. Just been cleaning back some of the old braze that was used to attach it to the car and getting the mating surfaces ready. Down the lower end, where they do rot now, is why you can buy repair pieces. Some light pitting here, which I'm not worried about. I'm going to metal filler that. But here, it's solid in front, solid behind. We've just got some pinholes, and that's about it. Round the arch where they go, clean back, and we're good. So arch where they would normally go is all right. It's just one area then, just there. It's all. I mean, there's still plenty of tough metal there. It's, I don't know whether I should just put an infill plate or just cut in and put a new edge and put the plate in that way. If I cut out a square, it does give me something to guide it to, because this edge metal is pretty good. So I think we're all alright there. Hasn't even got. This was a new panel on the car, so the car would have had. This would have been its second quarter panel, and then the car was smashed, and these panels were there, and the car was taken off the road. Portuguese. This was off. I'm going to put a repair panel in that. I'm not going to try and MIG them up. I'd rather just take the whole piece out. Show you what I mean. Even though surrounding it's solid, we'll cut a square sliver out and we'll insert a piece. I think I'll be happy at that. Here we go. Okay, we're prepping the inside of the panel, so we're etch primed, we've sanded down. Now this panel's acid dipped, it's been washed back, and now we've just gone over with the DA, and then we're just going on now with some etch prime, and then the Ford brown we've gone over the mating surfaces with weld through. So the panel is almost ready to go, and those repairs have disappeared nicely. There's that other repair that we did, a little bit of Dolphin Glaze. You can see the Dolphin Glaze helps. I don't know if that camera's picking it up, just see those, you can see the faint lines where the weld were. So we Dolphin Glaze into that so that the inside of the panel is as good as the outside, the best we can do. Dolphin Glaze self-leveling, and it's pinhole proof as well, but with no pinholes, but it's pinhole proof, which means if you put it in a pinhole it won't soak through and get damp. However, we digress. We're on now to this surface. Along we go masked off. This is keyed in with etch prime. Just one more surface to mask up, and then we do this in brown. Wheel tub all repaired. Everything ready to go really. We'll get on now, get a paint on. Doors are open, mask will be going on. We don't want any fumes as usual. Okay, prepping work all the time. That's what it's all about, to get it the end result. Quite a lot of days work in this quarter so far, probably a total of 3 days on the quarter to get it something like right. It was missing a piece of metal in its corner there where I'd cut it off the car. I've reshaped, copied the shape off the other wing and grafted that in, so it is actually now fully complete. You'd never get one, so we've managed to repair this, and I think we're going to be pretty nice. I think I'm going to be pretty pleased with that. A few dents in it, but the body shop are fine with those. Okay, one little bit of primer just drying down this edge before I put the masking tape on, and then we'll mix the paint and get going. Get the gun on. Bit tight in this corner for me to film, right up against the wall. Okay, mixing the paint now, getting it on. I'm going to leave that for tonight. Okay, well here's an important part in the build. Again, we've been busy, and again my feet, my stupid clod-hopping feet keep bumping into things. A Nigster, and a Nogster, and the Holmes monster. Mark Giles, the Giles monster. Is he out there? Okay, you're looking at the gaps now in your screen. What do you reckon? Some comments on what you thought those first gaps were like. I'll hold on while I back up against the wall. Try and steady the camera now for you and for you all. Okay, so I like the way things are looking. The boot is placed in position and the wings are stretched, jacked, stacked, copied. We've got a friend in town, Cobra. Hold on, let me take this call. Busy one today. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by the telephone. A friend helps us out on the floor. JT to the rescue. What's left of him. Just to really go reiterate and double check some measurements. Come in quite handy, JT, for the boot catch bracket. Using them chassis holes, I can measure across to the centre line of the bracket, and then we've made our bracket. Here he is over here, and that, well, not made it, we've repaired it. He lost his ears and it had a bit of rust underneath, so we put new metal on the edges. So our boot catch bracket, which fits just here, put the weld through primer on, and I've marked the centre line. You can just see it through the primer. that falls exactly in the middle of the keyhole of the boot and consequently the latch. But the middle of the boot is the middle of the catch, because I've measured it, and the middle of the catch measures out under here, moving that away. We get a measurement across that hole and we copy it across this one. We find that everything is identical to this car, and indeed I've got another back end outside which copies across again. 128 point to point. Check yours at home. You'll get probably between 127.5 and 128.5 on your point to point of your car. If you've got a Mark III, you'll go out in the middle of the night checking with your tape measures, because curiosity is like that. So measurement, check. We just keep going over and over. Now, little things take time. This is one of those little things which you've got to get right. There's no room for margin for error. No margin for error. No room for mistakes. So we use all the facilities that we've got. We may as well, this may as well get a use for itself, other than being a bit of wall art. It's actually making use, and one day you may even donate panels, because there's nothing wrong with them triangles. That's about it though, I think. Oh no, there's a filler spout neck thing there and some lamp backing brackets. So yeah, even surviving. Wow, Dave forgot to take this off when he scrapped the car. I'm not so sure that they are doubled up. They are. They're cheeky so-and-sos. These are actually, I think, as well as on the jack bracket, I think these actually are the same as this. I think they are, I think they're window bracket rubbers as well. Close, if not very identical design, but that's your end of your jack, and I don't think that's right, but because it's got a recess on it as though it's to fit in something else. But I've seen these so many times on these jacking brackets, and I think that's what they did. They put these on. That stops you from hurting yourself on it, and they fit over the top. Looks like they're the same as window hole bracket grommets. Grommets. Tired today. Wow. Chesting the jack inside there, getting ready with a filler spout. Prime through on here. I'm tapping on since 6:30. So it's a long day. It's 6:30 now. So 12 hours. Not all on the car, but that's why my voice is whining. Anyway, I'm happy to wrap today because, well, not with Roland. I'm happy to end today knowing that I'm in the ballpark. It's not like twisted, it's pretty level. There's a little bit on this wing. I suppose you could push down a little bit there. Well, I'll pull in, I reckon I'll get that. Where it goes flush and it drops down. Look. But there's no boot rubber on yet, and that tends to lift and kind of like straighten it out a little bit, especially around the gutter channel area. So yeah, we've not got the boot rubber seal on. We need to get that inner panel on soon. We can start actually assembling the back end very shortly. So looking nice. I'll carry on tomorrow. For you, it's just seconds away. Rear end, boot floor, exciting. It gets lighter every day. What can you do with a spot welder? You can do this. Woo! I've got a bit of galv burn back there. Woo! Guy force. Definitely got some. Definitely, this inner panel's definitely it's definitely galvanised. Well, that's no problem. We'll just keep on going. Engine's going. panel's got a galv coat on it, but it certainly has. Okay, petrol filler spout, seam seal time. We won't be able to get to this when the wing's on, of course, so let's do it now. It's out of the way and curing for us. Whoa, dead easy. As we've shown you before. That's it. Woo! And they don't do it normally on the inside, but I will on the inside because there's definitely a trap there. You could argue it's worse on the inside than inside the boot, because from here you can get chemicals going in and even water, I suppose. So inside too, and that's that. What else we got? I don't think there's any more seam seal just this time. We need to weld the boot front lip up, I think. Yep, boot front lip. Next. A little bit more on that edge. It's a factory job. Seam sealer on both those seam edges there. Factory job. Forgot about that. I knew there was something else. Okay, there's some resin. Here's a wing. Wing's all prepped and checked. The area's all painted and checked. All the surfaces are ready to receive the wing. All we've got to do is apply the bonding resin to the sensitive gutter area just down here. I'm going to bond that on just because the rain runs down, and this then, the wing then folds back on itself. They do put some factory sealant on it, but we're going to bond that area. The rest is screwed, tech screwed, then plug welded or spot welded depending. So we've had a nice clean up and we're ready to fit the wing. So I'll apply the resin. We're not going to use the gun simply because the mixing nozzle's jammed. I've only got one mixing nozzle, but it's easy just to apply it on with the end of the spoon like a spatula there. Just 2 short strips, not much needed, and we're good to go. So we'll get that resin on first, and then we'll get this wing on. We'll put you up on the tripod, then we'll pop it into place, start clamping it up, and we're ready to go. There's nothing to stop us now, it's all clean. We're seam sealed at the back, seam sealed around the tubs. Any areas that will be trickier to get to when the wings are on, for example around the filler neck, we've done some detailing around the filler neck and the jacking point. Now the silver fox will come in, but it won't get everywhere, so we want to make it look like these were forward panels, and then as they've gone in the factory, you get silver overspray, which is how I found some of the cars. Later on it was different, but early ones you'd get the body colour overspray effect. Okay, overspray. Okay, tripod for you, mixing for me. Okay, I'll panel bond adhesive down that troublesome gutter area. Okay, well, that's going to make a nice seal, and then on the mating face of the wing just down there, it's now up to me to offer it up. Let's hope it works. Should be okay. Here we go. Taking a wing, and a monumental groundbreaking time really, wing going on for good. Only one more wing left, and then that's virtually all the panels, just a bit of a rear end, but let's not mess about, let's get on with this wing now. Because that's start to cure, let's get going. Wow. He spends half the time getting dressed and the other half getting undressed. There would be, if there would not be backups like this, Tony, I need someone with steel in this balls, Tony. Someone like you and your compadre here. With steel in this balls. Someone like you and your compadre here. No dishwasher, Chico. Very nice to do. Your compadre here. Hell yeah. Freezing breath on the window pane, I'm waiting. The image is gone and here and down, it means nothing to me. This means nothing to me. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Textures. Okay, let's check it on. Okay, we're going well. It's gone back in the same place, which makes me very happy. Resin now in. Just smoothed it down. Use a little bit of thinners, not too much, be careful. And let that squeeze in there. That'll bond that nicely and seal it, as we said, on the quarter. And now for the power of suggestion. An Eccles cake from Lee Holmes. These are nice. These are Eccles, Lancashire Eccles cakes. I like to dunk them in a black coffee. How do you eat yours? Yeah. If you've not had a break yet, pause your film, go and do a brew, go to shop, get a cake, then click play. Right, I've salvaged Bramble's original Taillight backing plates. There they are, for all of you to see. Light on. And here's a lamp we're going to use for testing. It's already a slightly damaged lamp. We'll be careful with it, but if we did accidentally damage it, it's not as bad as using a new one. So we're just going to mock it up. What we're going to do is get this bracket to land just in the right place so that it's a nice fit when we slot this through. And these studs go into those holes at the back, that way round. Excuse me. And then that gets the light mounted into that corner. We put the boot down, we make sure that the boot lines up with the light, and we've brought in the rear applique. Here it is. So the rear applique there, we're going to pop that on. We'll have to just sticky tape it onto the boot for now, because that applique hasn't got any mounting studs, they're all broke off and we can't actually bolt it on, so we have to just glue it or tape it onto the boot, close the boot, fit the light, mark where it lands nicely, then spot weld in that backing plate. We'll paint it first, then we'll spot weld it in once it all lines up. So a bit of mocking up just to make sure that the wing is definitely okay. It looks good, but we'll know for sure when we fit this. Now, fitting the lamp won't affect, if we have to move the wing, it'll still move even with the lamp bracket fitted, because you just move that tech screw. Don't think we'll have to move the wing, looks alright to me. So, going to just get that bracket prepped up now, everybody. We'll just give it a phosphate B and then some paint. Okay, we're going for the window surround. We're going for window surround. Should be able to get these nicely. Needs a minor repair down there, and I missed that. I've never been so tangled up in wires all the time. I'm tangled in wires everywhere.